Welcome back to Reddit Story Time. Today we have 4 incredible stories. Let's dive right in.
Story number 1. The 132% Group Project. We start in a statistics class with a professor obsessed with one thing: equal participation. His rule was simple and brutal. If he decided anyone in a group project did more or less work than their teammates, the entire group got a 0. And how did he verify it? Each member submitted a confidential report stating exactly what percentage of the work they personally completed. If the numbers didn't add up perfectly, everyone failed. Now enter the group our storyteller, 2 hardworking classmates, and Chad. If you've done a group project, you know a Chad, never at meetings, never answered messages. 2 weeks before the deadline, they went to the professor and begged for help. He just repeated his policy: figure it out yourselves, so they figured it out. They built a spreadsheet logging over 200 individual tasks, from proofreading page 3 to, and I quote, thinking about the project while commuting. Every task documented, every minute accounted for. The day before the deadline, they sent Chad the breakdown. The 3 of them had each done about 33%. Chad had done 0, and Chad replied with the confidence of a man who had done absolutely nothing. Actually, I've been working behind the scenes. I've completed exactly 33% of the work independently. The next day, all 4 confidential reports landed on the professor's desk. 33, 33, 33, 33. The professor stared at the numbers and said the words that sealed his fate. That adds up to 132%. How is that possible? Our storyteller raised a hand. Professor, you never said the work couldn't overlap. You only said we each had to do equal work. We have documented evidence that each of us completed 33% of the total project requirements. The professor was furious. The professor was also helpless. Those were his rules, written in his syllabus, enforced by his own verification system. The group got their A. And the next semester, a new rule appeared: work completed by group members must be unique and not duplicated by other members. Chad never did show them that independent work. But somewhere, 3 students learned the most valuable lesson statistics can teach. Read the rules, all of them, especially the ones written by people who never did.
And the verdict: 132% malicious, 100% effective. Story number 2, follow the formatting rules exactly or lose points, sophomore year. A generic English class taken only for the credit, taught by a professor the entire department knew as Dr. H, a man famous not for his teaching but for his formatting rules, not just MLA or APA. His own personal rules stapled to the syllabus: font, margins, spacing, page number placement, all graded separately from the actual writing. 3 weeks in, a student asked what happens if you don't follow the formatting rules exactly, and Dr. H gave the answer that would haunt him. He said, and our storyteller wrote it down out of pure spite: if you follow the instructions exactly as written, you get full formatting credit. No exceptions, no partial credit for close enough. Cool, noted. That weekend, while everyone else skimmed the syllabus, our hero read the formatting section line by line. 2 loopholes jumped out. First, the title must be centered. It never said what the title had to say. Second, your name must appear in the header. It never said how many times. The next essay came in with the title essay, centered, enormous font because there was no size limit either. The header contained the student's name 11 separate times. Page numbers appeared on every page, including a blank works cited page whose only content was the number 7. It came back with formatting points deducted and a note: unprofessional presentation. So our storyteller raised a hand in front of 40 classmates and asked one question: point to the specific rule I broke. Silence, because there was no rule. Not one had been broken, they had just been followed further than any human being was supposed to. And then came the kill shot, the professor's own words from 3 weeks earlier, quoted back verbatim. The points came back. The syllabus doubled in length by the next essay, with every loophole individually patched, and our storyteller gave the experience a perfect 10 out of 10, would exploit a poorly written rule again. And the verdict: full credit 11 times over.
Story number 3, Office Muzak. This one takes us to a 2-person satellite office, far from headquarters, where the phone system was simple. Someone answers, and if the call's for the other person, you yell phone across the room. It worked beautifully, which is exactly why headquarters hated it. First, some background you'll need. The company's owner came from a European family that ran a bakery. Every Christmas, he'd order a huge shipment of their traditional cookies at the last minute. Every year, customs delays. One year the cookies didn't make it at all, and the owner improvised. His son-in-law was an aspiring musician. The owner had paid for some recording time, decided the result was client gift material, and burned hundreds of CDs. Picture open mic night at a coffee shop quality. Now you understand the weapon our storyteller had access to. Meanwhile, headquarters forced the office to install their fancy corporate phone system. Our 2 heroes set it up, every feature exactly as ordered. And while exploring it, they discovered something beautiful: a CD player for hold music. One of them listened to 80s metal. The other's taste was described, diplomatically, as weird. Nothing appropriate on hand except, sitting in the office supplies cabinet, a stack of the son-in-law's CDs. So the question answers itself. Is the phone system really set up without hold music? For a while, customers enjoyed the smooth sounds of the boss's relative's musical ambitions. Then a vice president called and was put on hold. The fallout was swift and immediate. Hold music, permanently canceled. The company liked that CD enough to give it to clients, right? It's part of the phone system you wanted, right? Sometimes the most devastating compliance is just pressing play.
And the verdict, hold music of champions.
Story number 4, the Zero Line of Code Contest. Our last story is for everyone who's ever had a professor say no questions, no exceptions. A computer science class on hardware taught by a former chip architect, tenured, set in his ways, and even in 2009 demanding all assignments be submitted on 3.5-inch floppy disks. For years, he teased his students with a legendary contest: write the assignment program in the fewest lines of code. The record set by the smartest student he'd ever taught was 13 lines. Most students needed 100. The good ones did 30. The assignment: build a memory tester in assembly. And the professor, feeling generous, told the class, there's no cheating here. Get creative. Use whatever trick in the book you can imagine. 3 things don't count as lines of code: start, end, and DCB, declare constant block. Our storyteller had one question, asking it would reveal the hack, so he kept his mouth shut. Here's the trick simplified. Assembly code gets converted into raw bytes before the processor runs it, and the processor does not care where those bytes live. So our hero wrote the program in about 20 lines, squeezed it as small as he could, then took the compiled byte code and pasted it into a declare constant block, which by the professor's own rule counted as 0 lines of code. The program ran flawlessly. He announced the record on the class message board, the assignment complete in 0 lines. Other students were astounded, disbelief, guesses. He promised to reveal the secret after the deadline. When he explained, the professor's response was instant. You can't do that, that's cheating. And the reply was beautiful. No, you said there were no rules. You said DCB doesn't count. I hacked your assignment on a technicality and did it in 0 lines. The professor admitted it was clever. Then a week later announced he was retroactively changing the rules and revoking the victory. Our storyteller's take: he can change the rules after the game. He can't change the fact that I won it, even counting real lines. I still beat every student he'd ever taught.
And the verdict, 0 lines, total victory.
That's all for today. If you enjoyed these stories, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more. See you next time.